Question was, what about the moratorium on fracturing for natural gas wells in Pennsylvania up through the Alleghenies and stuff? That moratorium is going to fall off anyway. If you listen to Boone Pickens, the idiots that were trying to fracture the wells were fracturing them too close to the water table, and he didn't know how anybody let them get away with that anyway. He said they're supposed to go down an extra couple thousand feet below that, fracture down here, and then suck the gas down instead of fracturing right below the water and allowing the gas to float up into the water. He just shook his head and said, only in America could you get away with doing something that stupid and call yourself a professional.
Is it BP?
No.
Just checking.
No. But here's the thing. The price of oil and the price of natural gas and the effect on AMSOIL's product is pretty straightforward. You can make PAOs, okay, from natural gas, or you can make them from the byproduct of petroleum refining ethylene gas that comes off during the refining process. Either one of those, because all you're looking for is a hydrocarbon base to run through the process to make polyalpha olefins, okay? So either way those are driven up in price, it would eventually affect the cost of the base stock. Now the hydrocrack base stock, which is used for the XL product, that is still costing AMSOIL more money than what some people think they ought to pay, but they demand a very high quality hydrocracked oil, and they usually get it out of Canada right now. At least that's for the last time. I couldn't say where it is right this moment. But the esters that they buy come from Lubrizol. I'm not sure if Ethel's making any, but Lubrizol makes them. And so they're going to be using esters, PAOs, and those are, the esters are usually made from alcohol, believe it or not. So that can be affected by, if you're trying to make so much ethanol to meet all these mandates for mixing it in gasoline, you can drive up the price of alcohol, which could inadvertently drive up the price of esters, because esters are made from alcohol. One of the things to keep in mind, we're done, just 2 minutes. There's a good chance, as I was saying before we started the meeting, there is a very good chance that we'll see escalating prices in petroleum products coming around the horn as soon as these economies pick up. We will be affected by that, but it's proportional. Remember that when I started in this business in 1991, we were 6 to 8 times the cost of petroleum. We're now 2.5 times. Every time we go through one of these adjustment and rising prices, it's the petroleum that gets driven factorially closer to us. And part of the reason for that is that it's always been expensive to make PAOs. It's never been that expensive to make petroleum lubricating oils, and it's expensive to make petroleum lubricating oils now because the new requirements like SM and CJ4, these oils are requiring them in many cases to start using partially hydrocracked, what they call Group 2 Plus oils. They're much more expensive than what they were using before. But the reason is the manufacturers require higher requirements. It pushes it up. Where are we in all of that mix? Well, you know, if we keep this ratio somewhere around 2 to 2.5 times the petroleum, we're in a great marketing position. And I don't think we're going to have trouble doing that. The only thing that I see is that as they go to these thinner weight oils like 0W20, even the new Mercedes is requiring a 0W20, those are going to be hard to produce in anything but synthetic. And we may see oil companies move to more and more of a larger and larger line of synthetics. Now we have to look at that straightforward as the old Michelin tire example. When Michelin had 100% of the radial tire market in the United States, the market was 1% of the tire market. They now have 10% of the radial tire market, but the radial tire market is 100% of the market. So if we go from having a small percentage of the synthetic market, but we keep that small percentage and the synthetic market becomes 100% of the lubricating market, we will all make a lot of money. Okay, so it doesn't bother us at all if the entire transportation industry is moved into 100% synthetic. We'll just take our percentage of that and it'll quadruple anything that we ever thought we'd make, just getting our percentage of that massive market. Because right now, synthetics only cover between 4 and 5% of the lubrication market in the United States. So just go ahead and beat me up with leaving us with, say, a fraction of a percent of the market. When the market goes to 100%, will be hundreds of times what we have now. So.